Let's just be honest.
Be honest.
Let's just be honest.
Be honest. Hey guys, and welcome back to another podcast. As well as you know, this is the Honest Podcast. And of course, we're always honest. So today I have Boss Man and Kaboom, the director and the assistant director that used to be the boys director, talking today. So we're going to see how they feel about junior camp. So let's get things started. Boss Man and Kaboom for joining me today. I really miss you guys because, usually right now we would all be somewhere together.
Yep.
Very true. Very true.
Yep.
So I wanted to get junior camp from your perspective and in your opinion, the staff week and all the years that you've been up there till now, where now we're going to have to do it where Boss Man is not with us. So it's not going to feel the same anymore.
Yeah, it's going to be a little different.
Yeah.
A little different. Yeah.
Well, one of my first questions I really wanted to ask was, what was your favorite year working up there?
I'm trying to think, because they're kind of like all a blur. But for me personally, no, listen, every year got better, in my opinion. And I think my favorite year was one of the last 2 years. So as Kaboom became the assistant director, I think that was a great year. And I think that's the same year that no, because he was boys director with
Yeah.
and what you call it was
Smooth was your assistant, so I was boys director that year, and then I became like assistant director the following two.
Okay, yeah. So the year Smooth was there, I think that was a great year. I had tons of fun that year, and that was the first year I was really, I kind of did things my way that year. The first 2 years I did summer camp, I was still learning, trying to figure out how to do it. I had some staff that I had kind of inherited, and God bless them. They taught me what they knew and what they did. So, for those first 2 years, I was just kind of being redundant and emulating what they had done all the years. But that year Smooth came, and Kaboom became boys director. That was the first year where I felt like, okay, this is my camp, and that we had a lot of fun. But then, the last 2 years as the Kaboom became the assistant director, in terms of just, having a good time, I think the second to last year was just a phenomenal year. We had a really good time. Staff was good. I think it was the last year with my DJ, the last year with Teddy. I think that was their last year was probably the best year. So they were, you guys had all matured, and you know what I'm saying, and you guys knew what to do, and everything just kind of flowed.
Very true.
What about you?
I would say that would probably be the year, cause that was a lot easier, cause with Smooth, kind of passing it off to me, and I became Pastor North assistant. I was still trying to develop and understand, but due to the fact we had a crew of counselors who knew what to do, it wasn't really I was training them, I was teaching them anything. It was more they knew how to follow procedure. They knew all the procedures, so it was easier. Whereas the following year, the third year, I had to literally teach a whole bunch of new counselors, campers, the rules and all that stuff. So it made it a little more difficult. So I would say, yeah, that would probably been my favorite year. It was like everybody's last year, but it's good to have them and bring them on.
Well, what's one of your favorite memories from camp? If you have a hilarious one or even an embarrassing one?
Come on, you go first. Let me think about it.
Let's see, favorite camp story. I would say it would be the one where me and Smooth, like, everybody was supposed to be in their classes, everybody was supposed to be doing something, and like we went back to the room like to chill, relax. Boss Man was like, go relax for a minute. And so I'm not the assistant director, I'm just the boys director. And so like we're chilling, we had got some food, so we were eating some food, and then on the radio, like everybody just started calling for, like, I'm thinking they're gonna call like the assistant director. If there's a problem, you call the assistant director. I heard girls on the radio like, Director Kaboom, we need you to come handle, there's a situation with the girls. I'm like, a situation with the girls, you call Curly Top. Like, you don't call Director Kaboom. But like, I think that was my favorite because like Smooth just laughed because they didn't call him once. So then like we hopped on a gator and we rolled over there. I think a girl pushed somebody. I'm like, why did you call me? I like, Curly Top was literally like right across the field. But they're like, well, we needed somebody to come handle it. And I was like, but Curly Top is right across the field. Like right there. Right. And the whole time Smooth is just laughing. He's dying out. He's like, they didn't even call the assistant director. They called the boys director. And like, I felt like that was the moment I realized, and I think even Smooth realized, he's like, oh, he's eventually going to become the assistant director. Because the whole rest of the summer camp, they called me more than they called him. Any situation, any problem, any complication. It was like, Director Kaboom. It was even like late at night. Director Kaboom, can you come to the facilities? We have a situation. I'm like, I'm not the assistant director. I'm the boys director. Call Smooth. Please call Smooth. Like, and it was all through the night. It'll be like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3. Director Kaboom, we need your assistance. I'm like, no. Good night. Like, I think at one point I started turning my radio off for like 2 hours where they couldn't call me. But then like Smooth was next door to me, so I heard his radio. And they'd be like, Director Kaboom, you're not coming through the radio. So I would say that would be my favorite, funniest memory of working junior camp.
Listen, man, for me is a lot because I could talk about Nurse Cuckoo, when Kaboom and Smooth set up that tent, and man, that thing tickled my soul. Theo's impersonations, us hanging out in my office at the DYC and just laughing about stuff that had happened that day, stuff that, like, during the day, a lot of you guys are like really stressed out, and then, we come in there, we talk about it, and man, it would just be funny. Man, there was just so many things, man, that happened, and a lot of stuff is a lot funnier after it happened.
Yeah.
But in the middle of it, you're mad, and I remember the whole cupcake on the wall.
Oh.
I remember that. I remember, lady dropping those kids off on a Tuesday night in the middle of the week, and then there was some medical issue. Oh man, there's just so much stuff that happens. But I think that was one of the funniest things I saw was just, that girl she was ready to whoop that boy. And praise God we held her back. But I was hoping she was gonna get out of somebody's grasp and at least 2-piece in one time. Ding ding ding.
I forgot all about that incident.
Oh man. So just and the characters, man, there's so many characters. Even the kids that got on your last nerves, when you think about them, man, they just had so much personality, and it was just, they were hilarious, man. They were hilarious.
You know, since Mom's isn't on here, I have to tell this story.
Okay.
I didn't say this in the last one, but the year that I had worked in the kitchen, I
Mm-hmm.
was sleeping in the DYC, so I would have to wake up early to get to the kitchen on time. And I would wake up before the sun came up, and a raccoon chased me to the kitchen. And I'm just hearing it, and I'm freaking out because I think I'm not about to make it. But I close that door, and then I hear the hand on the door.
Mm.
And I was just freaked out, and I thought I was by myself in the kitchen, and then somebody came out the darkness. I don't know if it was X-Man or if it was one of Steph's sons, but they scared the mess out of me, and I let out a scream, and I would never forget that because I was like, I don't want to sleep in the DYC and come all the way to the kitchen no more. That was terrifying.
Wow. Wow. Listen, I remember, back when we first got the truck, and I was driving the truck, and I don't know what time of night it was. Maybe it was about 10:30, man. I was driving right down the middle of the street, and like a group of raccoons was crossing that street, and one like stood up, like right in the middle, like what you gonna do? What you gonna do, bro? What you gonna do? I was like, look at this raccoon, man, about to get run over, but but he stood in the way like he about to test me or something. But yeah, those raccoons were, and then man, those raccoons would come out. They'd be on climbing the pole, man, dude. That was.
I remember that one year they did climb that pole, and like all the staff just stood around looking at me. Like, I remember Mom was like, "Will y'all leave it alone? It will come down." They stood up there for like a good 30 minutes. You had all the counselors just staring at a raccoon.
Oh man.
Up on a pole. I was like. Like, I think it came down that morning. Like, cause I remember I walked out of my cabin, I looked, and it finally came down and walked away. I was like, but that cat, I was like, we kept that raccoon up there all night. I was like,
yeah. No, listen, Kit Kat, the one of the funniest things for me now that comes back is catching people sleeping.
Oh,
that for me personally. Those were the highlight. You talk about some of the ugliest faces. Catching people sleeping and then putting that up on social media. Oh man, that was the joy of being the boss man. That was my. I loved that. I loved it.
The fact that we had staff designated to do it. Like, I think it was like me, DJ, and Josiah who were like, don't fall asleep. We're gonna get you.
Right. Oh man. And then Cuckoo, I still got a picture on my laptop or one of my computers of Cuckoo knocked out on that gator during worship.
I remember because like I was sitting next to you and like I was like, is she asleep? And, like, we went and like she was knocked out, laid out on that gator.
Cold. Like she had somebody, unconscious. It was hilarious. Man, girl, we could talk about 1,000 things. And I tell you what, the last thing, I'm gonna shut up. When Cuckoo came to do those health nuggets for Nurse PM, and she would start talking, and everybody looking around like, what is she talking about? We didn't have a clue what she was saying, man. She was rambling, and we're like, oh, this was a mistake. This was a mistake.
And then she talked about like Gatorade, how the Gatorade was the worst drink to drink when you're hot outside. I was like, wait, that's all we got.
Listen, she contradicted PM. Everything PM told the kids to do, she came behind and was like, oh, don't do that. That's bad. I like these poor kids are confused. Like, come on out here. Yes.
Well, what was your favorite staff member?
Oh, man. My favorite. Well, listen, Kaboom is my favorite staff member. That's off the top. All right. People get mad, whatever, man. Kaboom, what is my right hand? And, he got it done. We communicated. It was just a very seamless, effortless relationship. He helped me make some hard decisions in terms of, those times we had to we send a kid home, or I don't know who we sent home. We tried to send more kids home that we didn't, but but it worked very, very well. And so he's my favorite staff member. But I mean, all you guys were, especially that one year where we were just kind of like everybody had either they had been camper. We had like a crew of campers that had been coming for like 3 years consistently, or we had staff that had transitioned from campers into staff. So there was like that 1 year where everybody knew everybody, and it was just sweet. Kit Kat, used to get on my nerves. Are you gonna fire me? Are you gonna hire me back next year? Are you gonna fire me? I don't want to get fired. So listen, Kit Kat, you're one of my favorite people in the world, man. You're one of my favorite people in the world. So even if you were messing up, I was gonna bring you back anyway because you're just one of my favorite people. But yeah, man. So all you guys were special, especially you guys that stayed with me almost like the whole time that I was youth director. So you guys are very, Curly Top, love her to death. Big Chef, obviously Mums. She's been with me day one. But what was Maya's? I don't even remember her name. What was her name? Jet, and her issues, her health issues had us panicking as she passed out
on a bus.
On a bus. I'm like, oh, what is going on? So, and then, T Money, $2.60, whatever. T Money, man, she wilding. Even Asha, man. Asha, what is it? Aka?
That was Aka.
Yeah. So, yeah. You guys that were with me almost the whole time, man, you guys are like very, very special in my heart. I had tremendous amount of respect for each one of you guys, and you work very hard. I just wish I could have paid y'all better. I wish we'd have had better facilities, but I hope that you guys had just as much fun working with me as I did with you guys. I hope I was fair.
Very fair. Very fair.
I think it was way more fun to stay in the cabins because I know a lot of people complain about the red cabins, but it made it even it made it much easier to come up with hilarious stories when you were trying to improvise and figure stuff out by staying in those cabins.
Got you. So Kit Kat, you rather have stayed like had the whole camp in the cabins versus the DYC?
Oh no, I didn't say that.
I was gonna say like, girl.
Okay.
That one year we had it in the red cabin. I was like, that was just a stroke.
Oh man, people got their stuff stolen. Like we didn't even get out the first night, and a phone got stolen.
I remember that, and like you were like, well, you weren't supposed to have the phone up here anyway, so it was the first night, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I said, man, this is already kids getting sick in the cabins, and Lord help us, man. That was a bad decision. It was a bad decision.
My last question for you is, if you could go back and change some of the situations that did happen, would you?
I mean, I don't know. I think all of them like learning experiences that, just some stuff some stuff is unavoidable. You can't predict it. You can't see it coming. And it just makes you a little bit, it just makes you a better person, a better leader. You know, when you just try to handle those things, you know, on the fly. You know, for me personally, I just wanted our kids to have a great experience. And I knew our facilities weren't, you know, they weren't up to the same as like a lot of other camps that kids. But I think the kids that came to our camp, you know, really had a good time socially. They just, you know, they bonded with their counselors, they bonded with the other staff. I think for the most part they had, and then they came away with some great memories, some fond memories. So no, there's really nothing about that I would have changed. And in subsequent years, you know, things started flowing a little better with the money. You know, what you guys did not see is the financial struggle in terms of having the budget to get equipment and games and going off site and hiring staff. Because in previous years, you know, they would send staff home if they didn't get enough campers, because they couldn't afford it. And I just believe, like, no, we gotta, no, if we hire somebody, we need to be able to pay them regardless of who comes. And so, you know, that was one thing that was important for me, to make sure you guys at least got something halfway decent. And then be able to balance that with the kids having a good time and stuff like that. So here's one thing I wish I would have done better, is be more prepared for those stupid inspections. Oh my goodness, that was the bane of my existence.
Well, I think last year,
yeah,
we made everything on time.
Yes,
like, we got all the paperwork. I was like, this is the best year yet.
Yes. But every year, man, it was, oh man, it killed me, man. And then that one year where we had to get the whole camp inspected for accreditation. And listen, man, we were only one of 2 camps in our union that got that accreditation. So, and where we were in the minority in North America that had that ACA accreditation. So that was, as much hard work as it was, that was very satisfying getting that.
I knew that you had our back when my second year working, because I remember the first year I was a camper, but then I was like, I want to work in the kitchen. I don't need to get paid. I volunteer. So then the next year I was in the kitchen, and I remember right before camp, because I had no idea what I was doing. I just assumed I was going back into the kitchen, and you had called me. You said, "Hey, you know how to take pictures?" And I'm like, on my phone, I don't have a camera. Like, I thought I was working in the kitchen. No, I'm not able to put you in there. I got enough staff in there. So can you work a camera? I'm like, I'll figure it out. so then I sat there for like 4 hours looking at a camera. I'm like, okay, this is how you use this. All right.
Yes. That was amazing too, man. I definitely appreciate it. But yeah, Kit Kat, man, I want to make sure you was there, man. So we had to create a position. A creative position. But you didn't have to come to me every 2 seconds. Should I do this? Should I do it? But that's Kit Kat, man. That's Kit Kat. So, you know, we love you for it.
You remember that waterfall situation? When I said it on the radio, everybody was confused. They're like, what's waterfall mean? And then Kaboom realized that when he got to the laundry room, he was like, oh.
Yeah, because you just said waterfall, and we were all like, "What?" And then I think it was like Boss Man was like, "Man, go find where she's at." And I was like, I went to the laundry room. I was like, "Oh, you mean?" I was like, "Girl, you should have said flooding."
Oh man! Wow!
I remember because Curly Top thought I lost my mind. I was like, now I have to wash all those clothes all over again. It's going to take me forever. She was like, go to bed.
Yeah, she was stressing.
Oh man, I forgot all about that. Man, that washing machine. Oh my goodness. Listen, we were living in the pit of poverty.
Yes, we were. We're about.
But we made it work, man. We made it work. And listen, I'll never forget. Those are some of the best times of my life. I'll never forget them. And I just want so much for you guys, man. You guys are such a great group to work with. Y'all kept me young. And it was really good, man. It was a great experience. So y'all gotta help, you gotta help keep when Corona gets done, I guess, they gotta bring it back.
Exactly.
And new and improved.
I wanted to let you know that when we did go through situations like that, we did teach the kids, because a few of them actually didn't know that to dry your clothes, you can hang them up on a rope when their dryer stopped working. So they're like, I'm gonna do that at home when my dryer doesn't work.
Oh, wow. That's what's up.
Well, thank you guys for coming on here. And Boss Man, we love you and we wish you the best.
Thank you, man. I miss you guys. Love you too. And hopefully we'll see each other soon.
And speaking of junior camp, we do have one coming up. So here is the flyer. And don't forget to sign your kids up. And I'll see you guys later.
Let's just be honest.
Be honest.
Let's just